Have you ever wondered how Hamas, an organization that influences Middle Eastern politics significantly, came into existence? The story begins in 1987, during a period of intense Palestinian resistance known as the First Intifada. Hamas was formed as a direct response to decades of Israeli occupation. Its initial goals were clear and unwavering: to liberate Palestine from Israeli control. But Hamas wasn't just a political movement. It was a cultural and social shift, a change in the way Palestinians viewed their struggle for autonomy. A crucial player in this transformation was Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, a spiritual leader whose influence on the Palestinian cause was profound. Yassin was instrumental in the establishment of Hamas, guiding its ideology and shaping its mission. Thus, in the heat of the First Intifada, Hamas was born, with a goal to liberate Palestine from Israeli occupation. But how did Hamas evolve from a grassroots movement into a significant political entity? This question takes us to the early 2000s, during the Second Intifada. This period marked a turning point for Hamas as it began to emerge as a major player in Palestinian politics. The escalation of conflict and the subsequent power vacuum saw Hamas rise in prominence, buoyed by its commitment to resist Israeli occupation. The year 2006 became a watershed moment for the organization. Hamas clinched a surprising victory in the Palestinian Legislative Council elections. This win set the stage for its takeover of the Gaza Strip just a year later in 2007, solidifying its political standing. Throughout this period, Hamas adopted a range of strategies and tactics. From suicide bombings to rocket attacks, their actions aimed to challenge Israeli authority and assert Palestinian sovereignty. From a grassroots movement, Hamas had evolved into a major political force, wielding considerable influence and control. Now that we've seen the birth and evolution of Hamas, where does the organization stand today? Currently, Hamas rules the roost in the Gaza Strip, a slender coastal piece of land that's been a hotbed of tension in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Its governance, however, is not without controversy. Hamas has been branded as a terrorist organization by a number of countries, a label that, in part, stems from their use of suicide bombings and rocket attacks as a means of resistance. Yet, it's important to remember that Hamas also runs hospitals, schools and courts, making it a complex entity to fully comprehend. On the Palestinian front, the relationship between Hamas and other Palestinian factions, such as Fatah, is riddled with tension and bouts of violent clashes. It's a delicate dance of power and politics that's far from over. Hamas remains a significant player in the Middle East, its actions and policies continuing to shape the course of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In this next segment, we will venture into the uncharted territory of the future. What lies ahead for Hamas? It's a question that's difficult to answer with absolute certainty, given the volatile nature of Middle East politics. However, based on current trends and expert opinions, we can make some educated guesses. Firstly, the relationship between Hamas and Fatah will likely continue to be a significant factor in Palestinian politics. Reconciliation efforts have been attempted in the past, but with limited success. The struggle for power and ideological differences between the two factions will continue to shape the political landscape in Palestine. Secondly, the international perspective on Hamas may also evolve. While many Western nations currently view Hamas as a terrorist organization, there are voices advocating for a shift in approach, calling for dialogue and negotiation rather than isolation. This potential shift could have significant implications for Hamas's role on the international stage. Lastly, the issue of succession within Hamas is a crucial one. The current leadership is aging, and there is a generation of younger members rising through the ranks. How this transition is managed could significantly impact the future direction of the organization. In the ever-shifting sands of Middle East politics, the future of Hamas remains a fascinating subject.